Let's talk about one of the most enigmatic, electrifying, and unforgettable figures to ever step onto the hardwood, Dennis Rodman. Whether you know him for his outrageous hair, off-court antics, or unmatched hustle, there's no denying that Rodman redefined the art of defense and rebounding. He wasn't just a player, he was a phenomenon. But how did Dennis Rodman become the Worm? And what makes his legacy so extraordinary? Let's dive in. Dennis Rodman's journey to basketball greatness is as unconventional as it gets. He wasn't a highly touted prospect growing up. In fact, after barely making it through high school, Rodman's path seemed to be heading nowhere until a massive growth spurt in his late teens turned him into a towering 6 feet 8 inches. From there, he found himself at Southeastern Oklahoma State University, where his relentless work ethic and raw talent earned him national attention. By the time the Detroit Pistons selected him in the 1986 NBA draft, Rodman was primed to disrupt the league. But no one could have predicted just how much he'd revolutionize the game. Rodman became an integral part of the infamous Bad Boys Pistons, a team that prided itself on grit and physicality. With the Pistons, he claimed back-to-back NBA championships in 1989 and 1990. But what really set him apart was his ability to dominate without scoring. Rodman wasn't about flashy dunks or high-scoring games. His specialty was rebounding and defense. He won Defensive Player of the Year twice in the early 1990s, and he was the rebounding champion for a staggering 7 consecutive seasons from 1991 to 1998, something no one else has achieved in NBA history. But it wasn't just his stats that made Rodman stand out. His on-court antics and off-court persona captured the media's attention like no other. During his time with the San Antonio Spurs, Rodman started coloring his hair in vibrant shades and embracing his bad boy image. While this period highlighted his eccentricity, it also showed his unyielding dedication to mastering his craft. Even at just 6 feet 8 inches, undersized for a rebounding specialist, he studied the trajectory of basketballs, positioning himself perfectly to grab boards over much taller opponents. His approach was as intellectual as it was physical. Then came the Chicago Bulls era, the part of his career that cemented his legacy. Joining forces with Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen, Rodman became a crucial piece of the Bulls' second three-peat dynasty from 1996 to 1998. With his unmatched hustle and defensive prowess, he complemented Jordan's scoring and Pippen's versatility, ensuring that the Bulls could dominate both ends of the court. Watching Rodman dive for loose balls, frustrate opponents, and grab 20-plus rebounds in a single game became a spectacle in its own right. One of the most fascinating aspects of Rodman's game was his sheer love for doing the dirty work. While most players crave scoring and the spotlight, Rodman thrived in the shadows, excelling in areas of the game that often go unnoticed. He once said that rebounding wasn't about jumping higher, it was about outsmarting your opponent. And Rodman was a master of reading angles and timing his leaps. His ability to impact the game without scoring a single point made him truly one of a kind. Of course, Rodman's life off the court was just as colorful. From high-profile relationships with Madonna and Carmen Electra to his infamous mid-season Vegas trips, he was as much a pop culture icon as he was a basketball player. Yet, beneath the flamboyance, Rodman was deeply introspective. He faced struggles with mental health and found solace in the camaraderie and structure of basketball. His Hall of Fame induction in 2011 wasn't just a celebration of his stats, it was recognition of his unparalleled impact on the game and his ability to transcend it. In my opinion, Dennis Rodman is one of the most misunderstood players in NBA history. Sure, his antics were wild, but his basketball IQ, work ethic, and sheer determination were unmatched. He showed that basketball isn't just about scoring points, it's about heart, grit, and teamwork. Rodman wasn't just a player, he was a symbol of what it means to embrace your uniqueness and channel it into greatness. So, what's Rodman's legacy? He redefined what it means to be a role player, proving that you don't need to score to dominate. He inspired generations of players to focus on hustle and defense. And perhaps most importantly, he reminded us that basketball is a game for everyone. Whether you're a quiet kid from Oklahoma or a flamboyant superstar with rainbow-colored hair,